Hey gents, today we're going to do a little bit of a fall lookbook, which is brought to you by the Tie Bar here. So we'll talk about their new fall styles and their new shirts, but first I want to talk about my experience with the Tie Bar overall, because I have recommended them in the past, not just from their shirts, but from their ties and tie bars as well. So before we jump in, make sure you subscribe to learn about the best menswear on the internet, and give a thumbs up for the wonderful materials and color palettes of fall. We'll start out with this here. This is my original Tie Bar shirt that I got last year when they launched. All of the Tie Bar shirts are $55 or 3 for $140, and I love that they don't play games with the pricing. I think that's why I was so harsh on Charles Terwitt in some of my previous roundups, is because I don't like when companies try to mess with us to make us think that we're getting a deal when we're not getting a deal. The Tie Bar is just super straightforward on everything. On their shirts, $55, their ties, $19, which is a great deal for the ties that they offer, and then tie bars are $15 as well. So today I'll be talking about the two new shirts that I got from them, and they offer a wide range of sizes from neck sizes to sleeves lengths, which is perfect because they're not made to measure, but they offer a wide enough range that you'll be able to get something that fits just right. For me, it's the 15.5 neck and the 34-35 sleeve, and so that gives me plenty of length in the sleeve, but it also is a trim fit, so it gives me a nice silhouette and it fits well around my neck. And it's also nice about these shirts is they're longer, so they're easier to keep tucked in. It's way easier for me to have my shirt tail garters. I don't have to really stretch them as far as I usually do. And they have great structure around the neck. They hold up extremely well under a suit, which in this price point I have found is a little bit challenging. This is where you're talking about some of the J. Crew and Banana Republic dress shirts, which don't always have great collar structure. And the shirts are non-iron, so they are some of the best performing ones in that roundup, and I think for the price of $55 they're extremely tough to beat, and I said that as much so 6 or 8 months ago when I did that dress shirt roundup. Now I'll talk about the new ties that I have here from the fall collection from the Tie Bar, but I wanted to start off with a little bit of walk through memory lane here. This is one of my first wool ties that I got from the Tie Bar, and I wanted to bring out my entire collection actually. And so I've been purchasing ties from the Tie Bar since back when they were $15, which even then I thought, how are these guys making these great ties for $15? I think the $19 ones is still an incredible price point. I think they could command a higher price, but they don't want to mess with us. They want to be straightforward with us. So what I also like about the Tie Bar is this was the first company that I went to for skinny ties when I started working my first corporate job. I think it was 2012, 2013, and I wanted to get something that was a little bit more modern because I actually used to take my dad's ties, unstitch them, and then make them into skinny ties by cutting the seam in the middle, and then I would iron them down, and it was a mess, but really I could have just used my time a little bit better. Now with most of their ties you can either go with a more traditional 3-inch width or a 2.5 inch, which is more skinny, and some they even offer a 2-inch width. So I've got a range of them in here, so almost all of mine are the 2.5 inch width. So I've got something like this purple silk. I've got a few of their knits, which I really like, which is a 2-inch, and then I do even have some of their 2-inch ties, which are extremely skinny, but it's nice too because they offer a wide range of materials, so you can go with something like the silk here. I have some of their cotton, I have a linen tie, I have just a beautiful satin silk tie, and all of them come in at the same price of $15. I've got a cotton, like I said, this is one of my wools, and it's a great place too for some of the knit ties. When I started to get into ties a little bit more, I only referred to them as the flat bottom ties, and they have a wide range of colors, styles, knits. I think it'd be really tough not to find something that you're looking for. I love this one too. This is like a red and a blue check in here. So I do have some more expensive ties in my collection and some of the cheaper ones, which actually for this, when I was putting this review together, I threw some of my cheaper ones away. But for that $19 price point, if you're building out your collection or if you want to try out new materials and new styles, it's incredibly tough to beat. So these are some of the new fall styles. This is one of their paisley in purple, which I never actually had a paisley tie in my collection, but I'm loving just the rich, thick material on this. And this is the West Ridge silk in a burgundy, and I just love this, especially with this brown suit right here. Now I'd also be remiss not to talk about their namesake, their actual tie bars, and this is another one where I fleshed out my original collection and I've got a handful of these tie bars from my original one. This is one of my brushed metals right here, and then I've also got a nice gun metal, which you'll see in the try-on videos, and then they also have colorful ones. So this is a deep navy blue, and it's a great way to add a touch of color. So if you went with like a white dress shirt and even just like a darker colored tie, you add a pop of color on there with a blue or a red, or they even have yellow, and they've got some really just nice and clean classic ones, and then I've seen them have so a little bit more exciting ones too. And so for $15, really tough to beat. Like I said, I've gotten, you know, when I get some of these Sprezza boxes and Gentleman's boxes and they put the prices in the boxes of the things that you would have paid for, I'm always shocked that sometimes Thai bars can be like $25, $30 when you can get some great ones right here from the Thai bar. And then a bonus feature is I do still have almost all the boxes from my Thai bars, and so they're a great way to just store them in your Gentleman's chest, as I do up in my room, and I just throw them right in there. Good for storage, good for travel, pretty cool. And then last but not least, as I've been buying more custom clothing and getting my perfect fitting suits, as you usually get your custom trousers, you don't put belt loops on them, you just have buttons for possible suspenders. And the Thai bar has a great deal on just like cotton suspenders with the leather button loops, and I'm looking forward to really diving into more of these. So I've got a red pair here, I've got another pair, and then as of now, let's dive into a closer look at some of the cool fall styles from the burgundy, the paisley, and the dot, with some of my new dress shirts from the Thai bar. There you have it, gents. That is a look at the fall collection from the Thai bar. Like I said, if you want to get into some of the fall colors, the wool materials, and other cool ties that they offer, go ahead and check them out. This is a brand that is Kavalier approved through and through for many years, actually, since back in 2012 when I started picking up my first boxes of ties. If you have any questions or comments about the Thai bar, you can go and do that below or over at @_Kavalier on Twitter and Instagram. Love to hear from you guys over there. And I also invite you, in my description, I'll put a link to a brand tracker that I use, which is to help inform my future videos. So I'm trying to round up all the cool brands that I've either reviewed or need to review through the channel. And so instead of recommending one in the comments, I recommend that you put that into my brand tracker, because that's a better way for me to track them. And until next time, gents, this is the Kavalier. When you know the notes to sing, you can sing most anything. When you know the notes to sing, you